an historic first win for FC Supra in the Canadian Premier League, and an historic first-time guest appearance here on the Calcio Guys with Gianni Adriano. I'm Nicholas. You could follow us on all your favorite podcasting platforms and social media at the Calcio Guys. And joining us is host of the first half radio show on TSN 690, Chief Branding Officer of Supra, Paul Desbaillets. Paul, how's it going?
What's going on? That's a great intro.
Thank you.
You're a man of many titles, Paul. So we had a limited time to include them all, but hopefully it was good enough.
It's too many, and they're all inflated, dude. None of them mean anything except the one that we're talking about around Supra.
Appreciate it.
And it just never stops, right? You're just constantly doing something left, right, and center. Like
that's it. I wait for different groups to sort of just fire me, and then I move on to the next one.
Love it.
So Paul, what we normally do here when we have someone on for the first time, one thing what we love here is soccer, right? So we're all passionate about soccer. We're all passionate about different teams. So we want to ask you, what's your passion for soccer? How did you first get into the sport? Are there any teams you support? Tell us your story.
Are there any teams I support? Are you crazy?
Besides, let's say European teams. Let's go besides Supra.
Fair. Okay, great. First of all, guys, thank you for having me. It's greatly appreciated. Continued success with everything you guys are doing. It takes everything to put a show on and keeping it consistent. So for those that aren't understanding of the labor of love that go behind podcasts and shows and within this field, just don't know how much work. So congratulations, you guys, for the success.
Thank you. Really appreciate that.
So I'll make it brief, and then you can extend it however you want. The team I support in Europe is 100% in England. It's in London. It's beautiful Chelsea. It's my beautiful Blues. They continuously break my heart, and I will continuously liken them to the Habs. So for those that don't know, who might be listening, maybe not in Montreal or the Montreal Canadiens have won quite a lot of trophies, quite a lot of Stanley Cups. And I mean, again, this season doesn't count because they're about to hit the playoffs. I don't know when this is going to air, but there's a love-hate thing. There's always a sort of a breakdown and a destruction, a rebuild. It goes to the top and then it falls apart again, and it's this ongoing thing. It's very much like Chelsea. So I find there's a big connect. So on the Chelsea side, it's that's how it is for my club. There's a little bit of Ipswich in there. That's because where my granny was from. But luckily enough, or not lucky enough, we got him for 1 year in the Premier League just this past season. Yeah. So that was fun to try and figure out how to support over there. Other than that, I got into football very late. I never played. I played as a kid at the YMCA with friends. Nothing. I'm sure a lot of guys and girls or whoever you have on the show. Usually it's in their DNA. They play all the time. They played at a young age. They kept going. Some made it, some didn't. For me, it was really just a hobby because, growing up here in Canada, I don't want to date myself, but late 70s and the 80s, football wasn't, let's be serious here. You were listening on the radio. You were lucky to get a couple of broadcasts. Otherwise, there was no way to connect unless you were getting stuff from overseas, right? From family members. And so it wasn't the way it is today. And you go play football anywhere, everybody's rocking kits. You can watch it on your phone. That didn't exist. And so I wasn't really into it except for in the summer, and in the winter it was hockey and basketball. It was how it was, right? And then my cousins from the UK would send me stuff, and some of it was Chelsea related. I was like, I didn't really know what this was, didn't really understand it, and sort of, and then it was a World Cup. I think it was Japan, Korea. It was the mixed Asian World. Was it?
2002.
Yeah. So I was already into football a little bit, but in 2002, I don't know what it was, and I don't know what it was about that England kit, and I don't know why I ran to Evangelista. And I grabbed my England shirt because nobody from back, no one on the English side of I'm born here, but on the English side of my family sent me in. I never had anything sent, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I got my kit, And I remember sleeping in my dad's office because it was late, like it was early morning when you would have to watch these games. So my brother and I were, oh my gosh, I'm going to tell you guys something, you're going to love this. And so we were sleeping like in sleeping bags, waiting for the game, right? And from that point on, it just got worse and worse and worse. I'm just going to throw this in to throw him under the bus. You ready for this? My brother, again, we're brothers by blood.
Yeah, I hope so.
He's an Azzurri fan.
Way. See, we knew Paul. You're not Paul. It's Paolo tonight.
Paolo. It's Paolo. Dude, it's still probably one of the biggest dividers in our Christmas dinners, and every other sort of. I don't know how it happened. I think it happened because one of his best friends was Italian, and they went to Italy, and he was wooed by the loveliness that the Italian culture. The Italian culture has a good job of having people fall in love.
Yeah.
And so to this day, I mean, he rocks up in a zip up with the badge, and it's just like so hard to take. But so that's again. I'm sorry if that's too long an intro to sort of how I got into football, but. And then from that point on, it just got worse and worse. And for those, again, that aren't 100% sure, when football gets you, you're done. And it just continues to get worse and worse, meaning better and better, but worse and worse as it consumes and consumes and consumes. And so that actually was longer than I was hoping for, but that's how I got into it.
No, but I like how you touched upon certain things, because that 0-2 England squad, what a midfield. You got like it's the roster itself was just so fantastic. I think my favorite player on that roster was Michael Owens, but I don't think Rooney wasn't there yet. No, he was still too young.
Not in 2. No, he comes
06, I think he started.
Yeah, but not much later. Not much later.
And like Man United, he started to win in 03, 04.
The worst part about England, and this is not why we're on the show. We got to talk about why we're
Supra.
here.
Yeah.
But for God's sake, if you look at these teams and if you look at these players and if you look at the juicy meat that we have had on every one of these skeletons, what in dear God, I want to swear, I just don't know where the parameters are here.
Let it fly, Paul. Let it fly.
If you have to, let it go.
And then I won't swear again because I like to keep it clean so that my kids or whoever actually I'm already in trouble. Mama's gonna. But the it's so heartbreaking to look like even you. I mean, you just go over that list over and over again. We can't do it.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy. I just brought up the Euros today on another conversation this morning. How for the first time ever in my life, I shed a tear in public. You know when you see little kids crying in Europe or wherever, like big football communities that are crying, and you're like, at least I growing up was like, what's going on here? I don't understand. Now I get it. I was crying. You guys did it to us, and then Spain did it to us. It's just been a disaster thing. So let's just change the subject.
Yeah, because if we get on this subject, Paul, we're going to be here for 3 hours. So
yeah, and you're gonna
Canadian legend Dustin Hargreaves on that roster too, right? We're talking about Canadian soccer.
What
Dustin Hargreaves was on that roster.
I think, by the way, that you would have had him if Jesse Marsh was in charge.
Yeah, probably a lot of players.
I think if you had a Marsh in charge of Canada back then, I think there could have been some swaying done. I'm telling you.
For sure.
Wouldn't put it past.
So tell me.
Yeah, no, Paul, listen, we open the show, man of many hats, man of many, projects. You've indulged in so much. If it be the pub scene, if it be the football scene, if it be the charity scene, you've really, checked off a lot of boxes. Before we kind of really get into, obviously the nuts and bolts over this past weekend's win with Supra and just your whole involvement with the club. Just a quick, brief, I guess, talking point of, your goals initiative, charity, obviously the pub scene, people that are living under a rock and don't know Burgundy Lion. I mean, it's your time to wake up, I think, and get your ass over there. But your involvement in the soccer, calcio, football scene, as we like to call it here on the show, in the community, what goals initiatives is and how that kind of started before we get into all the Super talk.
Yeah, no problem. So, but I'll make that quick because I definitely want to talk about Supra. There's so much to talk about with Supra. Goal started, believe it or not, it's going to be this year 16 years ago. So
wow,
which is nice. Berserk.
Awesome.
It started in a park in the rain. And literally, I think most people weren't even playing football. They were sort of smoking and having some beverages while kicking a football, like real Sunday style. And it was to raise money for a group called Head and Hands and NDG. The whole idea, guys, just very quickly, Gold takes money and does stuff in the community with it, right?
Nice.
So that was, and they were an organization in need. I was like, this will never continue. This will never work again. No one's ever going to want it. It was a pouring rain. You know how Montreal is. Like Montreal can just be the worst weather at the most, the most
opportune times.
Yeah, right. Like, come on.
Yeah.
And it didn't, but it continued and it continued and it's grown and grown. And the team around it and the entire team around Goal. That's the only reason it's working is because I have so many amazing people actually doing the hard work. And we're repurposing fields now. I'm supercharging it, right? So I'm getting all the way now to the end. We're a CRA, right? So we can write charity tax receipts across Canada. We've worked with organizations like the Indy Rosario in Toronto, and we work very closely right here with Patrice Bernier and his foundation, the Patrice Bernier Foundation.
Awesome.
And with him, we actually came together and created a program where we repurpose football fields in public schools or public spaces where there are $0, like I'm talking $0 from anything because everything is so tight. And you're putting these kids out on these fields that are just, it's not okay. Like it's actually just not okay.
Of course.
And it's not acceptable. Definitely not in Canada and definitely not in Quebec, not in our province in Quebec or in Montreal or, so that's its massive mission. And always to do, so it's a tournament, but it's not really, it's a friendly. We used to do trophies. Then there were fights. So there's no more trophies. So that was thrown out. So now it's a friend. No, dude, it'd be insane. It'd be insane.
Imagine,
it's football. You know what happens.
Of course. Yeah.
So you come to Goal, you have food, you have drink from different locations in the city. Everybody comes together. It's, there's, we show World Cup or Euro games on the Jumbotron. There's haircuts, there's tattoos, there's merch, there's all kinds of, there's, games for kids, games for adults, including football as well, right? There's an actual sort of friendly tournament that happens throughout a couple of games. Community people come together. So that's Goal. And we just keep bringing in a lot of really cool people to help it make it way better than it is. Super will be involved this year. So will the Roses, the Alliance, which is a basketball team here in Quebec. Sometimes we get some CF guys in. We definitely the Habs are usually the harder ones to get because most hockey guys aren't into football, unfortunately. But we'll see. But especially with the World Cup, so it's really it really becomes quite a community led project.
Awesome. We love to hear that. And for 16 years, Paul, like that's we commend you honestly because that's a lot of hard work.
Yeah, it's a team.
No, I know it's a team, but listen, it's a team effort, and to go on for 16 years, rather like it's enough to do something for 16 days straight, but imagine 16 years, right? So listen, we commend you, and that's not the only thing we commend you on everything that you're doing, but we wanted just to get that out there because obviously it's a great thing, and it's for great causes locally here in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. So that's I think the most important thing in this whole endeavor.
Yeah, cool, man. Thank you. Now let's talk some Supra.
That's what we're here for.
Yeah.
Johnny, take it away.
Johnny, you can go ahead.
Well, basically, just give for those that are probably I guess living under a rock, right? So how did you guys, get started with FC Supra? How did it all come together? And now, what are your kind of goals are? Just, I know it's the first season in the CPL, the Canadian Premier League, and not a league that we're excited for. Doesn't has as much attention as it should have right now because it is something that's grassroots developed, if you want to give yourself give the listeners because we do have listeners all across North America. So just to give them a bit of a brief overview of what is FC Supra, the goals of FC Supra, and what you guys hope to achieve.
Okay, well, so I'll bring it down to a very basic level. So as you mentioned, it's in the Canadian Premier League. It's a professional football club here in Canada. It's the 8th team within the entire ecosystem. You play east to west coast. The entire story behind let's even back it up a little further. The project is led by the president, which is Rocco Placentino. So he's not only the sort of the founder, but he's also coach. he's led this project for a long time, and I think you guys have had these conversations, right? Like
Of course.
We see it this year. We see the year build up to it, but it's years in the making. And everybody knows in football, it takes a lot of conversation, a lot of wrangling, a lot of money, and a lot of people to believe in the project that are willing to take that risk, right? Again, it's been a year until we finally got to see the boys kick a football last weekend, a year or, thereabouts. And it's, people just, you don't realize the timeline of how things come about. You just see it like when it's finally cooked, right? Or when something's coming out of the oven. So he's been leading the charge on that for many years, but a year ago or whenever it was, I was sort of swayed by, again, anybody who's ever spoken to Rocco, it's very easy to be, 2 minutes and you're sold, right? And it's so he told me about the project. It didn't take long for me to say I'm all in. So I'm all in, which is why we're talking today. There's very few moments in time where you realize you have an opportunity to be part of something extremely special and unique, and you can't pass things up. There are just sometimes there's a reason, right? You just have to go down the path. So again, that was an easy sale for me to take that leap. And the idea of the Supra, which again, I think you guys have already spoken about it, but for those that don't know, it's to work within the local Quebec space of football. And what that means is your coaching staff, your backroom staff, your players, they are homegrown. They are from the province. They all have wickedly cool, ethnic backgrounds, and they all come, again, this entire province is made up of people from all over the planet.
Yeah.
But the Quebecers, and it's modeled after Athletic Bilbao, right? Which is for those, again, in case in Spain, that has mapped out that exact same thing, where you're working within the community, you're working within the local talent, and you're bringing that up, you're bubbling up that to its highest level. So that's the main reason, the raison d'être, like it's a club for here, from here. And that's what it's about. And so taking that and then actually showcasing this football talent on the pitch, when you have guys like head coach Nick and assistant coach Rampton, putting in their special sauce to take these super talented footballers and do things that they're going to do this season. It's going to be fun, man. It's going to be fun to show off the talent that's here, that everybody knows is here.
Yeah.
But now we'll get to back it up even further. Again, Supra is supporting the local community and the football and the Quebec football scene with this professional club. It's not the end all and be all, right? And that's very important, because the truth is it's really about the clubs in the communities doing this all the time, all day long, all week long, every weekend, every parent, every association, everybody that's not getting paid but still doing it and still waking up and packing the balls and packing the cones. Like, let's be serious here, right? And so those men and women are the ones that are forming these kids. And then now with the thing like Supra, you're able to sort of galvanize this, and then with the training staff and the sporting directors and the president, everybody that's on the sporting side of the Supra are going to be able to hone this in and sort of put those pieces into into a real working machine, which then a lot of these kids not only to be professional footballers here in the Canadian Premier League, but also gives them an opportunity to continue on. Maybe it's something else. The MLS. Maybe it's in Europe. Maybe in the US. Who knows? The sky's the limit. That's correct. And so, does that help sort of answer what Supra is all about?
Yeah, of course.
I had written maybe 5 questions, and I think you answered all of them right there. But
in one shot.
You're good. Paul, it shows you. It shows you do this for a living, eh, man? It really does.
I'm looking for I forgot my cheat sheets. But you know why? Again, I don't know how to explain this, but there is nobody involved in this project that doesn't learn it, live it, breathe it. Like, I know I sound like a cuckoo person, but it's like drinking the Kool-Aid, like it's because you can't do 24 hours a day, 7 days a week every day, all the time, without that passion, like without a mission, right? Because it's something special, and it's something that's been presented to the team. I'm not talking to the players even. I'm just talking to everybody. Everybody that's involved with Supra has an opportunity here to be part of something extremely special, and I don't think anybody's taking anything for granted.
That's kind of what I wanted to ask about you for the next question. So, look, now Montreal has 3 professional soccer teams: CF Montreal, FC Supra, and the Montreal Roses, and the women's team.
Yep.
And it seems, at least outside looking in, even what you're saying, Supra kind of takes a different approach in that this is, a different team. It's fully for Quebec. Like I said, un club d'ici pour ici. It's really, for Quebecers. And that's kind of what the sense I'm getting talking to other people. It's just different. And is that kind of the idea behind having all this community driven initiative, to just kind of just not be another soccer team, just not be another pro soccer team that's just going to get by every year?
Yeah, well, we're just not like any other team. I know that sounds so snotty the way I just said it, and it's not meant to be, but it just never was something like anything. It's not typical. Look, for those that don't know, the Supra have an original history in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is a little bit, I'm not likening it to, but like the Cosmos story, where you have these rebirths. The Cosmos have had quite a few rebirths. And actually, funny enough, we've been really fortunate. We got to play.
You were there, yeah.
Dude,
awesome.
The Cosmos. Like, what?
Insane.
Right? Thank you. Like,
Giuseppe Rossi too was there, like, right? He's heavily involved.
Yeah, right.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but United, man. I got no love for United. But
it's okay. But Paul, we're Italian tonight, so you had to. He's a fellow Paisan.
Sorry,
He's a fellow Paisan.
He's a fellow Paisan. But that being said, I mean, that in itself was mind blowing and fun. But the footballers are young, and I don't think they understand that sort of that link. But that was super fantastic. But we have this story, and so Nicholas, I'm trying to bring it back to your question, or it just never started off typical, right? And so there's no way we're going to allow it to even pretend to go down that direction. It's just not allowed, right? So it's not even in the DNA to allow yourself to be normal. Or I mean, we're definitely, none of us are normal. I can promise you that.
That we know.
But that's it. Like, so there was just it was never birthed to be complacent in any shape or form within football. So because of that, I don't think. I know, at least as long as I'm around with the team and working with all of their bright minds, it's not going to be. It'll never be regular, man.
Well, as long as Rocco's there, we know a first-hand experience. It's not going to be. It's going to be full throttle, 100% all the time, every day. There's no turning back. So, and you know what? Honestly, Paul, I think that's. As strenuous as it may be, and listen, we see you guys from the outside in, and we've gotten to know some of you guys a bit more personally, and see the work that you guys have put in. It doesn't go unnoticed, and there's a lot of look at that picture, a beautiful event,
great.
Carrefour Laval, right? The season kickoff there, but it's balls to the walls, as we know Rocco likes to go, and I think that's the best way and the best approach, because.
Yeah, and there's
like
a trickle down effect, huh? I'm sorry to cut you up, but
no, go for it.
Go ahead.
So when your guy at the when the guy at the
it
top
starts at the top,
and then it's infectious, and
absolutely.
That's what, and you can only hope for that, right? You can literally only hope for that.
So, no, it's greatly said. Go ahead, Johnny.
No. So because you brought up something really interesting, and it just generated like a question in my head and stuff. Like, so you're talking about how there's soccer history, and you have these young kids getting involved with like because Supra is a relatively young team from what we've seen on the reveal and whatnot, and you can tell that there's obviously a nice youthful energy and stuff. But like, it was funny because when we're at the roster reveal at Carrefour Laval, I'm just there like, we're the whole crowd staring at the team, whatever, whatnot. And And then we're looking at like, but guys, to our left, we got Mauro Biello and Nick DeSantis, guys that are, Team Canada, former players or managers or what, like they were there in the trenches when Canada was trying to build itself up. I remember as a kid when I watched Nick DeSantis at Centre Croix-Roubiard when the Impact used to play over there in the USL, and family connections to like a friend, like their family friends. Nick DeSantis went on, and I'm just there like, do these kids not realize that like you're playing for a Canadian team, very proud, like, you know, they're really the essence is want to be a team of, let's say, Quebec, but still part of Canada, and you also have Team Canada reps on the roster. Do the kids, do the players understand that? Are they embracing it? Are they, you know, sponges about it?
Yeah, so they understand who's there. Do they take full advantage? You've been a kid once too.
Yeah.
But come on. You don't. You won't know till later.
Yeah.
The older ones are the wiser ones, or the ones, doesn't matter the age, the ones that are just, you know, a little more astute to what's happening and who's giving them advice. And those ones will probably get a little more out and pull a little bit more out when Nick DeSantis is talking to you on the sidelines, or he's there, or he's giving you some tips, or and the ones that don't or miss it, you know, to your point, Jenny, will probably realize that later.
Mm-hmm.
So at that same reveal, that the team reveal, we also had a bunch of the alumni.
Yeah.
Let's be clear there, right? Some of the OG guys, you know, that started all this, and you know, we're getting paid in gas coupons and
Canadian Tire coupons.
Guys, like it's if you're into it, you're doing it. You do it because you have no choice, because it's just in your core. And those guys led the way. So those two, you know, you always hope that when there is a moment when an alumni will be around some of the new guys, that some of those younger guys take a moment to sit down and listen to some of that. And so then it also maybe puts in perspective all the hard work that ownership is doing right now to give them a beautiful gym, a fantastic headquarters, beautiful locker rooms, TVs and video game consoles. Like what people don't take for, again, I don't, I'm just going to start to sound like a father. So then this is going to suck because I don't want to be that guy, but there's a lot of people doing a lot of things, working really, really, really hard to make sure that the players focus on what they have to focus on. Right. So that all those niceties and all the smoothness and the delicious food, like everything, is because the team, the other element of the non-sporting team, or the coaches, or everybody is working extremely hard to make it so that the players focus on their training, on their health, on some of their community work, but specifically what they have to do on the pitch. They have their job, and everybody else has their job around them to, you know, to be insular, cocoon, and also to provide. And again, like, I don't say this lightly. Ownership, you know, have stepped up and they've made this happen, right? And so have the sponsors, and so have the local clubs that have connected with us. So there's a lot of people doing a lot of things that are never spoken about, that are the real reason that this is possible. And I don't want to sound like a broken record, but it's really quite important that that's constantly reminded, and that, you know, maybe the players hear this and like, oh yeah, that's right, I have these niceties because of what everybody else is doing to make it possible, right?
Well, I think a lot of that hard work, at least on our end, and a lot of people in the community, we've seen it. We've not only seen it personally, you know, in person, but you know, online as well. I don't think any of this is going unnoticed. I think there is a big buzz, and it's not just a buzz that's going to fizzle out. I think it's here to stay. And I think, like I said, that hard work can't go unnoticed because of everything that's going on, and just all the positivity. And I think the players definitely did appreciate that, you know, all that hard work, because we saw over the weekend, and this is probably the perfect segue to the inaugural first match for FC Supra in the Canadian Premier League. Paul, listen, as a fan, as a fan of you, a fan of the club, a fan of Rocco, you know, we become friends, and it's like, just,
you kidding?
We were like, you know, shitting our pants, and kind of just the emotion the emotional roller coaster. We saw Rocco on the feed. We saw you
I mean,
guys
he
in the
really
box.
almost passed out. That's not a joke.
Yeah, no, I know, and I listened to him speak, and you know, it
You hear the
just
quiver. You hear the quiver. You understand how emotional.
yeah,
Dude,
and
it was insane. It was insane. It was insane. Okay, so I'm not sure how to do this. So it's a lot of celebrating for only your first game, right? In your first
course.
and the win. But if you understand, and this is why I'm saying it out loud, so that others are, like you said, across the nation or whoever's listening to this understands. It's got zero, and I promise you, zero to do with cockiness. It's got to do, that celebration, about all the hard work that has been going on for the year leading up to this, the training camps, the people getting cut, the efforts. Like, does that make sense? So
Yeah, 100%.
The ballers did their job, but I swear to God, that celebration and that energy that emitted out of that, there was 5 of us up top there.
Yeah,
That must have screamed so loud. I like, you could, and again, by the mountains, the most beautiful location you've ever seen in Victoria. So there's an echo, like, that's what happened. And then you see on camera, right? Like, you see, like, Rocco's, like,
yeah,
he almost falls down, and it's just that's what it was. Like, and so you celebrate, obviously, when you win. Like, guys, it's football. Let's be clear. But there was a different kind of celebration there, right?
yeah.
You could feel that. My God, it was what a game. What a way to start. Like, right?
Historic start. That's what we say. That's what we called this episode, a historic start.
Yeah, you could get everything you want. You got cards, you got drama, you got screaming, you got goals, you got goals by different, like, it's not by one guy. It's such a team effort. I mean, it really doesn't get better than that, right? It doesn't.
I mean, like, 97-minute goal too. It's like
right.
Marcoux at the end.
You can't write it. You can't write it any better.
You can't write it any better.
I'll admit, I wasn't able to watch the game. I was out, and then when I checked the score, I saw 97th minute. I was like, "Is that a mistake?" Like,
yeah, right.
That's crazy for the first. Like, you couldn't have written it any better for the first game.
That's right. You could not have.
It's easy to say for a local guy to score. It's all local guys, but for a young player like Alexandre Marcoux, a first-round draft pick in the CPL draft, and as far as I understand, he's under contract with the Supra now, but he's going to go back to Université de Trois-Rivières. Is that it? That's how it works? Like, they're allowed playing both?
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
That
Just to kind of echo back onto the point, and obviously, Paul, your excitement it bleeds through the screen of what the question was going to be, but you kind of answered it already, so we love it. But just your thoughts and your emotions. I just want to bring it back to before the match. What was in your head? What did you envision? What did you want? Obviously, you want to win, and like you said, it's football. We want to win. We want to get 3 points, and we want to start off on the right foot. But just what was your initial, headspace? Like, what were you on the bus ride? Like, all those behind the scene things that people don't know. Maybe your thoughts on everything.
Okay, so fair. So there are questions that I wouldn't answer because I'm not on the sporting side, and not
Fair.
because I can answer them. It's not my place, if this makes any sense.
Fair.
Okay, we're obviously involved in everything, but the way it works within football, you guys know this better than I do, is that sporting says certain things, and then marketing and
branding,
there's a whole other side of it. I really wear quite a few hats, and so I'm all over, so I can really feel all of these things. When it comes to the football side of things, I will just say the only thing I thought about was, I hope nobody gets hurt. I know this sounds so ridiculous, but winning, I feel these guys out, like, if that makes sense without sounding weird. They're going to do their job. They're going to win sometimes, they're going to lose sometimes. Like, that's not it's almost not even my place to mention that, if that makes any sense. They've got a job to do. Some days it's going to be a good day at the office, and some days it's going to be bad. That's
reality.
Yeah, but it's reality, man. You wake up, you got a flat tire, or you don't. Like, it's just. So my only thinking on football side is, like, I just hope nobody gets hurt. The honest truth is, other than that, I'm super excited it's game 1, but we're really just thinking about home opener that's coming on. Again, this is why. So this is in my world.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about, are we capturing all the right content? How, like, I'm thinking of the other things that need to go on beforehand. What are we, how are we doing all these elements? How are things going to look on the coming out for a first game ever? Ingesting as much as I can, because those guys have been around for 6 years, if I'm not mistaken, Pacific.
Yeah, I think
and
so.
they've been around for quite a long time. So they know how to do this stuff, how to do a game day, and how to. So I'm observing those things and asking questions. And by the way, I know we like rivalries, we like that stuff, but man, those Pacific crew were amazing. All of them, all the way from our ownership down, giving us tours, talking to us because you trained the day before, giving us insights. You need that. Remember, guys, that was our first game ever in our history. And on the 19th, our first game ever in our province. And so there's a lot swirling around. So my head's I'm thinking about a million different things except the football, because the guys that are supposed to think about the football, coaching and the sporting director and the president and the players, are doing the job. They're training every day of the week. They're doing everything they're supposed to do every day of the week to do their job. So my only worry again is injury, because I'm an older dude and I have kids and I see these guys and I know they're athletes, and anybody who follows football, that's what you think about. You don't want anybody getting hurt. That's it. And that's my only think on that, because I believe every time those kids hit the pitch, those players hit the pitch, they're going to be on full throttle and they're going to be doing what they're supposed to do. So my mind is on everything else that I think I need to be thinking about, and hopefully, it sort of comes together. And then also that the first game ever in our history was out of town, which probably was the best thing that ever happened on a nerves sort of standpoint, but also gave myself, Rocco, Matteo, Shaddy, who's the team, who runs the team manager, an opportunity to actually watch the football. Because
you're right.
Honest here, we're pretty right.
Yeah.
Like, when you're in your own hometown, you're hosting.
Yeah.
Right. So it'll be a completely different thing when you're in your house, in your house versus when you're away.
Well, do you think that it kind of plays a bit to your advantage that you don't have the home nerves for your first game? It's like first game of the season. It's like, all right, we're here. We're in an environment where people don't really know us, or like we don't have to please the crowd. We have to disappoint the crowd. So you don't have to worry about, making a mistake or whatnot. So you think that probably played a little bit of a factor for the psychological aspects for a player?
I would think so, but I don't think anybody ever wants to make a mistake. But I would
Fair enough.
go with no, I didn't. You know what I mean? But I for sure think that plays into it. But if you think about it on the reverse side, when you're playing at home for your home people and everybody's screaming and cheering for you, you're going to be jacked. You're going to be way more zipped up. You're going to want to perform at an even higher level, right? So, I again, like I said, I don't think we've seen anything yet.
We're almost there, Paul. We're almost there.
Yeah, right.
Couple days away, and that's kind of again another perfect segue. I think.
Guys, you see, I'm saying. Paulinho's,
Paulo, guys, if anybody doesn't know, Paulo does this for a living, so we can tell, right? That this guy's a professional. TSN 690 first half, guys. This guy is a pro, and we appreciate his time tonight. But so to continue on this, another perfect segue. You've been mentioning it, right? It's going to be a whole different atmosphere when it's in our own backyard, when it's at home. That game will be taking place this Sunday, April 19th. At Sepsum, 2 p.m. In the rain, I guess. Hopefully, this Montreal weather, we don't know. But listen, we're from here, so we expect this, right? But just again, Paul, if you just want to lay it out for what's to be expected for people that are going to be in attendance. I saw, when was it? Yesterday, maybe a couple of days ago, 80% of the tickets have been sold. Probably as this comes out, it'll probably be closer to 90, if not more. I would assume. If you just want to lay out what to expect, just your thoughts on opening day at home for FC Supra, first time in their history.
So so the way I see this on a personal note are the personal connections that will be there. It's going to be very special. Even just for me on a personal level, having my family there is going to be just an exceptionally unique moment again for the first time ever here in Quebec, and I feel that everybody sort of has that very personal, deep connection to some people that are going to be there.
Yeah.
But what people are going to expect is, I think, an extremely high level of energy. I think they're going to be. I don't think they know what to expect, to be honest, because no one's really ever seen these boys play. No, but let's be serious, right? Training camp doesn't show it, like preseason. You've seen them maybe on TV, but you weren't there. It's just not the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think what's going to happen is you're going to be like, oh my gosh, that's not what I was expecting. I wasn't expecting that strength, that speed, that energy, those tactics. The calm demeanor of the coaching staff and all of those guys. But also how many people they're going to, if they're there, how many people they're going to meet, because there's going to be a lot of that Supra ecosystem and family there making this whole event happen with the amazing people at Université de Montréal at CEPSM, right? I mean, this is very much a collaborative project in the sense where we're leaning on their people for our first ever home game. They've been phenomenal with us. And we have this amazing, super team that, again, like I said earlier on, are 24 hours a day working super hard to make it happen. But so they're
working super hard.
Sorry,
super hard.
Dude, are you kidding? By the way, Super lines itself up for all of this stuff.
Yo, we love it. The dad jokes and all, we love it.
Yeah, it's a dad joke heaven. This is gonna be dad joke me in heaven. And then there's a tailgate 2 hours before outside where they're there's all kinds of cool stuff. And this will be the first opportunity to see some of the elements and pieces that they're going to get to see when they come to us at Laval, right? Because again, and we're super fortunate. We're in the same stadium with the Roses, so that's really cool. So there's the real home of football is there. They've in their year 2, so we're very happy and very proud to be there. So you're going to get elements of what it looks like in Laval here at CEPSM. So, you get to meet partners, you'll get to meet, there'll be activations, the merch, there'll be merch finally it's not that finally, but it's not in a store now, it's there. So when you go to a game, you can pick up merch, right?
That's
versus
awesome.
You having to go to a shop. Yeah. The guys at Evangelista are our retail partners, legends in the game, right?
Of course. 40 years.
Yeah. It's like, you couldn't be more blessed. This is what I'm saying. Like, there's so many really super cool pieces that have come together here to make all of this work. And then, so after you've done the tailgate, then you're going to move your way up into the game. And then at the game, there's food and there's beverage and there's music and there's, really good stuff going on with the MC. We got people kicking football. Like, it's just some really cool stuff. I don't want to say it all because I don't want to ruin anything. There's one or two little surprises and some little fun stuff. And again, like what I keep trying to say is, Montrealers, again, sorry guys, I know this is listened to other places, but we are specifically a team from Quebec and we play in Laval, but Quebecers and Montrealers and people from the province, we expect our teams to win. We expect our teams to go very hard. And when our teams aren't doing well, we get mad at them. And when they're doing really well, we put them on pedestals. This is very clear in this province. This isn't, I'm sure it's like that a lot.
It's no secret.
But it's tough here, man. Like, if you're not doing it right, you're in trouble. But if you explain to everybody what the project is, if you explain to everybody what you're trying to achieve, if you also explain to everybody that this isn't the Premier League or this isn't Serie A or this isn't the MLS or but these are important pieces. And I'm not saying that to dumb anything down because this is the pro level. What I'm trying to say is your experience, let's say at the Bell Center or your experience at a different stadium, and then you come to, to the stadium that we're at and what we're doing, 5,000 and 21,000, it's not the same thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
And I say that because when you get there, you're going to be blown away. You're going to be blown away. I'm telling you, you're going to be blown away. And so you got to remember that, like, for what it, for where we are, for what it is, for what we can do, I think it's just going to, people are just going to be like, they're going to go crazy. And then we've got our supporters groups coming, finally you're going to get to meet our proper supporters. It's Armada's the name of the crew. Like, those guys are doing their thing. First time club already has some supporters, doing their things and working on, like, what is this? This is like Bizarro world, right? Like, I mean, think about all this. So this is what I'm saying. We're
insane.
super blessed. Don't take anything for granted. Keep our heads down and everybody does their job. I think we have a chance.
One last question before we let you go, Paul.
Well, Paul, how much time we have? We have. You still have. What are we doing? We have 10
One more
minutes.
question. So go question.
One more question. So you're the chief branding officer. Talk to us about some of the branding that you've done with the club. Maybe, I don't know if you were part of the logo design, the colors. I know Rocco has a good story about the colors, but yeah, tell us what that means. What chief branding officer does. What do you do at the club?
Who the hell knows? How's that for an answer? Yeah, I mean, I was involved with the jersey design. The logo, actually, I was not involved with the design of the logo. I had input, but we actually had a very, very cool designer out of the U.S., European-based, who's got some very big footballing experience. Help put that together and bring the old logo to life within the new badge. Everything from the social media content to working with our partners, working with our community build, just keeping our message on track. Meeting with probably too many people at this point to keep spreading the gospel is really what the job is about. In this particular case, I'm involved on at the beginning here for game day stuff, to help with that, with some other much more talented people than myself, but just to make sure that game day is an exciting experience. Again, but let's be clear here, right? Everything is a team effort. It's very, very sporty, but I'm not, I know I sound like I'm being an idiot. It's all a team effort, but it's like, I kid you not, there's nobody who's talking to you that's involved in a professional football team that isn't pulling this off with the team, right? Like zero chance, zero. And so my job is to just wrangle as much as I can, support as much as I can, put my input where I can, when it comes to whatever pretend vision I have, to support the top line vision from Rocco, is what I do. And so far so good. Maybe others have a different opinion. I like what we've done so far. I like what the team's done so far. I'm very proud. I'm extremely, I'll be honest, I'm actually extremely proud of what's happened, because we kicked the football for the first time last weekend. But we've been in your face for the last year, right? Yeah. So think about that for a second.
Yeah.
Right. So think about how hard the teams work to get information out, visions out, what the story's about, the message, everything that's gone on. Last weekend was the first time you've seen these kids in the kits kicking a football. Let that sink in for a second, right? So that's the role.
No, listen, Paul, it's mind-blowing. And one thing I just want to, before we really wrap it up here, because I know we're on a time crunch, it just the connection between, obviously you can preach the gospel, you can say it, you can do it, okay, yeah, community, but you guys are actually being accessible to the community. And on our end, that's something that I know us as, Calcio content creators, we appreciate. And just the bond, the friendship, the availability. It's something that on our end, I know it doesn't go unnoticed. And I know on a lot of other people's ends, it doesn't go unnoticed. So that's just one thing I want to just put in there just before we kind of wrap this up, just because it's super appreciative, because we don't see that very often in a professional setting. So, you guys are preaching the gospel, but you guys are, you're talking the talk, but you're walking the walk as well. And I think it's only the beginning. We're hopeful to be on the ride as this goes along. We know we'll be there this Sunday, in the rain, in the sleet, in the snow, whatever we're gonna get.
The rain, the football gods won't rain.
There we go. In the sunshine, in the Montreal weather.
Mark my words, it's gonna rain a bit in the morning.
Yeah.
It will stop for football, and then it'll start up at the end.
Around 5 o'clock. Yeah, there you go. Perfect. Beautiful. Yeah. Listen, let's hope again, Paul, just how we always end the show is, you've kind of already done all the plugging and everything and all that, but just anybody that still hasn't got maybe tickets, that just wants to, again, reach out, where can they go? What can they do? And stay on the line, because we just want to thank you again off air.
Yeah, well, again, 100%. Now, so look, there's the 19th, but don't forget, we want you at the 24th.
Yeah.
That's at Sepsim as well. We want you May 3rd when we come and reveal ourselves for the first time in our home in Laval. We want you to come join us if you're in Quebec City on June 6th when we're playing out in Quebec City. That in itself is going to be what an amazing time that's going to be out there playing football, right, in that beautiful stadium. We want you to be, well, if you're asking for that plug, what I'm saying is support us, join us, get those tickets. And I hate always saying it because it sounds like hey, buy those tickets.
Yeah.
But what the hell do you? I mean, that's how we need you to support us, because we need you to check out our stuff. If you can buy some merch, awesome. But buying a ticket funds the whole project, and it's not just that. What do you want? You want to be in a stadium with some people? You want to be in a stadium with a bunch of lunatics losing their mind, kicking off cold smoke, screaming some stuff in your face, and I mean that with love, like exciting. Like, you don't want to go to a stadium that's it's smooth. You want to go to a stadium that's rocking and rolling and it's got the boys at heart and everybody's freaking out and cheering for the team. So we need you there, right? Like, this really is what we need. And so I say it it always like makes my stomach like churn a little bit, like to say, please get tickets, but that's how you support. You support because your bodies are in, your bums are on the seats, you're having a snack, maybe you're getting some merch, you're screaming and cheering, and you're getting to know the team. So this is the other thing. You don't get to know anybody until you've met them face to face. This is great, but we know each other. We've met each other face to face.
Yeah.
More than enough. So it's a different energy. It's a different rapport. And then when you see the boys on TV or you see them in a commercial, or you see them somewhere on socials, you're like, yeah, I have a completely different connection to that person. It's not a fake one where it's usually the inverse, right? You're seeing them on TV or you're seeing them on your socials or whatever, and you never see it live. It's not the same thing, man. Like, it's not. And so that's the pitch. You go to the CPL, Canadian Premier League's website. You go to any of our socials. Everything links to where you can get the tickets. Any way you can support that's the way. And spreading the word, right? When somebody watches your show, if they re-show this, amazing. It works for you. It works for us. All of these things. I mean, that's really it. Again, I don't want to hustle the sales thing. It's
no problem. I don't know.
But you get where I'm going with this. Like,
of course,
it's the truth. Like, no, but it really is the truth. So I don't even know how to pitch it. Like, that's how it is. Like, that's how you support a football team. Go to the game. Like,
it's as simple as that, guys. So listen, we're gonna have to wrap it up here. Again, we are on a bit of a time crunch. Paulo, whatever the name is tonight, Paul.
I like Paulo.
We really do truly appreciate it, and it's not just words. It truly comes from the bottom of our hearts. We really do appreciate your time, your connection that we've kind of had in recent times. It really means the world to us. Your time, your availability tonight is really amazing. So thank you again from the three of us, and we know you're going to be there on Sunday in good spirits. And listen, we're hoping for a big Supra win over the weekend, and for many more to come. So we'll end it there. Sure. Guys, go follow FC Supra on all socials. It's enough now. If you're not following, I don't know what you're doing. Follow it. It's a local club. There's not much more to say. Head to Evangelista if you need some merch. If you're at the game, like Paul said, there's going to be merch there as well. So if it's a scarf, it's a toque, a hoodie, a jersey, guys, it doesn't matter. Every bit helps. For us, guys, like we say every week, follow us at the Calcio Guys on all social media platforms. Very simple. We appreciate all the love and support. For all the audio version of the podcast, subscribe, turn on the leave with 5 stars, rate with 5 stars, leave a comment, all that good stuff. Everywhere you find your podcast, you can find the Calcio Guys. I'm all over the place tonight. And for all the video content of the pod, subscribe on YouTube, post notifications, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And yeah, man, Forza Supra, and we'll be back next week to talk a lot more Calcio.
Thanks for listening,
guys.
Ciao.
Bye.